I don't think Ben loved that kind of attention as much. But I think she's finding a good balance there, and I'm just happy for her. I love that she's happy.
And like, right, what is wrong with someone that just loves love and can't get enough? Like,
people are mad about it. They're like, why does she have to gush? I'm like, oh, stop being mad. Don't be a hater.
Like, to have so many things not work out and still have a positive attitude. Isn't that like what we all aspire to be?
I'm like, bravo, girl. You know, they're like, she was just gushing about A-Rod. I'm like, well, sweetie, she's moved on. And here we are.
Maybe you just have to lose the icon, the goddess that is J-Lo, to understand sometimes, like, I've lived all these years now, realizing I had the best thing back then. Yeah. I am not letting go.
I was looking at Ben like, what? If you gonna leave J-Lo, none of us have a chance.
I was not here for it either, but I am living for it now.
Yeah.
Listen, I turn to the Reel for all of my, you know, that's where I get a lot of my pop culture, what's going on. You guys cover it all. I mean, speaking of couples too, and then we'll move on. I mean, are you going to be getting an invite to the, you know, Kourtney and Travis wedding?
I would love that. That would be awesome. I just love Kourt so much. Like, she's one of my closest friends, and I just think like her happiness means everything, and she's so happy. And I know that it's hands down going to be the most stunning event of all time. Like, I just know it.
Listen, so, yeah. Kris Jenner's involved, so I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
Love them.
What do you love best about your day job on the Reel?
What I love most about my day job on the Reel, honestly, it's not the pop culture stuff. Like, I know that's not like there's some days when I'm just like, I actually don't care about this at all. Like, I don't care to give my opinion on it. And that's genuine. Like, that's really real. There are days that I'm just like, why, you know, but it is my job. And there are people that want to hear some of the more salacious things, but not my favorite part. My favorite part is when I actually get to share personal stories and hopefully encourage and uplift somebody with things that I've gone through. And in those moments, explain, like, you know, whether it was a heartache that I went through and I had to learn from, and I had to learn that I need to love myself more than I love my significant other, or learning that, like, you know, we hear all of this about fake it till you make it, but I love the idea of like, what about just being authentically who you are? Like, I love those moments where I get to share my heart and hopefully encourage and uplift somebody. So that's my favorite part about my daytime job.
I think that's why the show works though, because like it has everything in it. You have these touching moments, and then you deal with pop culture, which sometimes is salacious.
I love that we try to like tell you the story and then circle it back to our own personal experiences. I don't want to sit there and just like talk crap about people. Like, honestly, God, that's like my least favorite. There are days when I'm like, this is cringy, but I feel like there are other days where we'll literally say, hey, these are the facts of this story. Someone's getting divorced. There's a legal battle for their kids, right? Let's just say, I don't know if that's a real story we covered, but right. And then someone goes, well, I know as a child of divorced kids, this is how I felt as the child. And it meant so much to me that my parents got, you feel what I mean? Where It's not like I'm going to sit there and tear apart a story that I'm not living. Instead, I'm going to tell you the facts of what we know. And I'm actually going to share my personal experience as a child of divorced parents. So that's what I love most.
Well, that's why you're good at your job, because you're authentic and you add authentic value.
Thank you.
The last time you were here, I asked you what it was like working with the amazing Miss Garcelle Beauvais. And you said, you know, you were virtual and you never were in the same room. So now that you're commuting back and forth.
Maybe. Now I just sit and I talk with her in every commercial break. And I'm sure she's like, well, this girl just shut up. I feel like I'm just, I want to ask her about Real Housewives. I want to ask her about Kathy Hilton and what she's like. And I just pretty much ask her all the questions about life, love, having children. She also has shared with me like her journey of IVF and, you know, struggling for 5 years to have her sons. So I just sit and ask her a million questions all day long. And I'm sure she's sick of me.
She's like, honey, the day's over. I have to go now.
She's like, sweetie, I'm coming out with a book. Read it, which she is.
She is, and we're all going to read it. Mm-hmm. Did you watch Housewives before, like working with Garcelle? And do you watch it now?
I never watched not a single episode, which I'm like, what am I missing out on? And I did start watching her first season, if I'm honest, I feel like now I just get the updates from her and I get to watch the clips and the pieces that are online, but I did watch all of season 10 and then I stopped.
Is it hard for you, like this is a colleague of yours, you and Lonnie and Garcelle, and like when you.
I take it personal. So much so that Garcelle's like, girl, chill out. It's a show. Like, not just chill out, it's a show, but she's like, there's going to be conflict and there's going to be moments. And I get so defensive because specifically, obviously, we all know the whole clip where Dorit was yelling at Garcelle. I was like, who speaks to an icon like Garcelle? Like, I just was like, don't talk to her like that. Don't yell at her. Made me mad. It was early in the morning and it was like the first thing I opened up my Instagram to. I was like, this is not good for my well-being.
Did you want to call Dorit and say, hey, listen? I
was like, how dare you? And I felt like I wasn't the only one. When I read the comments, everyone was on there like, who is she talking to like that? Girl, who are you talking to? But it's so funny. I've since met her and she walked up to me and she was like, everybody needs a friend like you. And I was like, thank you. Don't ever talk to my friend like that again. It was actually a very cute, funny moment, but she got where I was coming from.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you get like little tidbits like, hey, Garcelle, not that you're going to share anything here, but like, do you get like, I'm sure some stuff that's going on in real time.
For sure. Yeah.
What about this whole, are you shocked at, I know you guys just talked about this too, like Garcelle unfollowed Erica and this was a huge explosion just to unfollow someone. Yeah. Are you shocked at like that or? I
was shocked that Garcelle didn't know that unfollowing somebody was like a world proclamation of where your status of friendship lies. She was like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I'm like, girl, this is a big deal. So that was interesting. And she just shared that I guess they had, she called her something that she didn't like. So we all have to tune in and watch.
We're going to have to tune in and watch. When was the last time you unfollowed someone that we all know of and it was World War III?
I don't really unfollow people. I might not even be super buddy with you anymore, but I'll just keep you there. If you still follow me, I still follow you. Here we go.
There is that like mute button, people. It's like you can just not see anyone's stuff ever.
Mute them.
Right?
It's true.
It's a lot. See, if only Garcelle just did that.
No, she wanted a whole unfollow for sure.
How was Garcelle's birthday party?
It was amazing. I had a lot of drinks and then got on a flight. So it was easy breezy. I was in the air like, woo-hoo. My mom came with me and she was like, my mom's never been in that sort of environment. So she was definitely culture shocked. Yeah. There was crawling Kyle Richards on the floor in like a leotard with like a little, yeah, you got to see it. My mom was like, what's happening here?
She's like, wait, this is not Scarsdale anymore, honey.